conquer Everest, where every step is a challenge, every summit a triumph. But not every climber finds a happy ending story. In the heart of the Himalayas, where the air is thin and the towering peaks touch the heavens, the allure of Everest had always captured our imagination. Jim Davidson knows what it's like to shelter in place following a once-in-a-lifetime catastrophe. His introduction to this type of resilience came not through the COVID-19 pandemic, but 6 years earlier on Mount Everest. Davidson, a veteran mountaineer, was making his first attempt to summit the world's highest peak in 2015. On the morning of 25 April, he and his team were at 19,700 feet at the Camp 1 site, a narrow glacier situated between two towering ledges. Then they heard an increasingly loud rumble come down from the west shoulder of Everest, several hundred yards away. Then came a second rumble from the opposite direction. Two major avalanches at the same time. Davidson knew the situation was dire when his tent started to hover 8 inches off the ground. He knew it was an earthquake. They would be in extremely serious trouble at some point. After 5 minutes, the initial tremor stopped, and Davidson and the other 180 or so climbers camping on the glacier found that they were all unscathed. Yet they learned from base camp that others on Everest needed urgent medical attention. As for Davidson and the others at Camp 1, the tremors had blocked their lone escape route. The next morning, a snowstorm hit, temporarily ruling out evacuation by helicopter. A sudden storm had descended upon Everest, and the climbers were forced to huddle in their tents, waiting for a break in the weather. Doubt and uncertainty crept into the minds of the team. They had enough food, but fuel was running out, which would make it impossible to melt snow into water, a necessity against dehydration in high altitudes. He says,
"We couldn't go anywhere. All they could do was accept uncertainty, sit tight, take care of ourselves."
Only after Davidson was finally evacuated by helicopter, 40 hours after the quake, did he begin to grasp what had happened. It was the deadliest day in the history of Everest. 18 fatalities by that evening, with a 19th death afterward. In Nepal overall, the 7.8 magnitude earthquake was the worst in more than 80 years, killing about 9,000 people. In the months after his first attempt on Everest, he doubted he would try again.
"I definitely had to steel myself a little bit to go back into the arena,"
Davidson says. Yet, he adds,
"Tough challenge make you more resilient."
He had the support of his wife, Gloria, and their 2 children.
"I was inspired by what my dad told me about big goals. Go for it with everything I've got,"
Davidson says. Davidson gradually warmed to the idea of another go at Everest. He prepared by stacking workout days so that one hard day was followed by an even tougher one. He mixed trail running with weightlifting and box jumps while improving his diet, all with an eye toward avoiding Everest's deadly ice falls and reaching its summit. By the spring of 2017, at age 54,
"I was in the best shape of my life,"
he recalls,
the most mentally prepared for a serious climb. I felt I was ready to go.
The expedition faced numerous challenges, from unpredictable weather to crevasses that seemed to swallow the very ground they walked on. Alongside a diverse team of climbers, each with their own dreams and stories. The ascent was grueling, with each step feeling like a monumental effort. Yet, with every labored breath, the squad drew strength from the dreams that had fueled the journey. As the climbers gradually worked their way up the mountain, they found that debris from the 2015 earthquake still remained. Near the top, Davidson had to walk past corpses of fallen climbers. In another tragedy, the renowned Swiss climber Ueli Steck died on a nearby peak at the same time as Davidson was making his attempt on Everest. Finally, after days of climbing, they stood at the pinnacle of the world. The air was crisp, and the panoramic view was breathtaking. Below, the world seemed both distant and insignificant. In that moment, all the sacrifices, challenges, and doubts melted away. Davidson was able to see his dream, though, to the top of Everest after about 2 months on the mountain. The descent was just as demanding, but the joy of success and the bonds forged on the mountain carried the team safely back to base camp. Davidson encourages his readers to seek out big goals themselves, their own next Everest.
I think the important thing is pick a goal within your passion.
He says.
For me, it's the mountains. Everybody can pick a goal that resonates with them.
Every challenge can have losers and winners, but perhaps the important thing is to participate. Everest is just an excuse. For others, it could be a school project or creating an expanse of trees. The more ambitious the project, the more satisfaction will be present in your hearts.